You're listening to The Coffee Hour. I'm Andy Bates.
I'm Sarah Gulseth.
We have a wonderful resource to share with you here in the St. Louis area for moms, expecting moms. Moms and dads actually are part of this. So I want to share this wonderful story with you today. Thanks to Concordia University, Wisconsin for supporting The Coffee Hour. Find out more about Concordia University, Wisconsin at cuw.edu.
Live uncommon.
Joining us today, Karen Ludwig. She's director of MyLife Medical and Resource Center in High Ridge, Missouri, right here in the St. Louis area. Karen, thanks so much for being our guest on The Coffee Hour.
Thank you for having me.
So, Karen, share with us your story. How long have you been with MyLife Medical and Resource Center?
I actually started volunteering at an organization prior to this that kind of began the pregnancy movement here in Jefferson County. And when MyLife Medical Center became its own standalone center on July 1st of 2006, I actually became the executive director of this organization. So it's been 15 years. We're celebrating 15 this year.
That's fantastic. Tell us about MyLife Medical Center. What is your mission? What do you aim to do?
Well, honestly, I think the best way to do that is to tell a story. Is that okay?
Yes, please.
I'll tell you the story of Melissa. Melissa called our office. This has been a few years back. And she said, I talked to her and she said, I need to come in and talk to you. I have an abortion scheduled. And I said, oh, okay. When would you like to come in? And she said, the only day I can do it is Thursday. And normally I don't come in on Thursday at that time. And I said, okay, I'll meet you here. And I said, what time is good for you? And she said, well, the only time I can do it is 7 a.m. And I am not an early riser, so 7 a.m. is not when I show up typically. But I said, okay, all right, I'll meet you here. And I could tell that she was not really thrilled about coming in just by the way that she answered my questions. But I met her here that morning, and she came in and I said, tell me what's going on. And she gave me a whole long list of why she could not continue this pregnancy. Quite an extensive list. And I was trying to help her see kind of around some of those obstacles, or how our organization and other organizations around us could help her deal with some of those obstacles. And she had a pretty good list of reasons why she could not continue. And we talked for a while, and every time I tried to go around one of the obstacles to show her how we could help, she just came up with another obstacle. It was just kind of negative on top of negative. And finally I said, well, Melissa, I believe that God creates every single baby, and he does so for a reason. And the reason is not termination of the pregnancy. And since we can't see into the future, we don't really know what God's plan is. And she threw up her hand and she said, don't talk to me about God. I did not come here for that, and I am not talking about that. And I said, okay, Melissa. And so we went on talking, and again, she's laying out more and more reasons why this has to end in termination. And finally she said, okay, well, I have to go to work. She said, you did a pretty good job. You really listened and stuff. But no, I still have to have an abortion. She goes, I'm going to go on Saturday and have an abortion. I had just told one of my friends that I would come and see you before I go to the abortion clinic. So she left. And quite honestly, my first thought was, what did I do wrong? Now, I know, especially after years of doing this, that I did my job. And now the rest is between her and God. But you still can't help but feel, what if I would have said this different or that different? Or, I forgot to say this. And so it was a really rough time because I thought for sure that this was going to end in termination of this baby. And I called my prayer warriors and I said, listen, I don't really think there's much hope for this baby at this point, but let's pray for this mama because she's going to need help once she goes through with this abortion. So I tried to call her the next day just to kind of check in with her, and she didn't answer my call. And I tried to call her on Saturday morning, and she didn't answer my call then either. And I knew that was the day she had scheduled. So I just continued to pray for her. And then on Tuesday of the following week, I called and she answered the phone. And I said, oh, Melissa, hi, this is Karen. And she started to cry. And she said, I can't talk to you right now. And she hung up. And I thought, oh, Lord, now I know for sure. And so she continued to be on my prayer list for quite a while. And a few months down the road, I was in a meeting with my banquet coordinator. And my mind was totally 100% on banquet details. And the phone rang. And I couldn't understand what the person said. And I said, I'm sorry, who did you say that you were? And she said, Melissa. And she goes, I just want to let you know I couldn't do it. And again, my head is so far into banquet that I said, I'm sorry, Melissa, you couldn't do what? And she said, Karen, I could not do the abortion. I could not follow through with that. She said, I went to that parking lot that morning and I sat there. And the only thing I could hear going through my mind was you saying that God created this baby and created it for a reason. And she said, I couldn't do it. I left. I said, oh my goodness, Melissa, does that mean you're still pregnant? And she said, yeah, I'm still pregnant. She goes, I don't know what I'm going to do. I don't know how things are going to work, but I'm still pregnant. And she brought that baby in a few months later. And I thought, oh my gosh, this is what we're here for. This is what we are here for. That's our main mission, is to end abortion, to make abortion unthinkable in our community. And that's why we're here. So our main mission is reaching abortion-minded women to help them see the truth about what abortion really is and what parenting would mean for them, what adoption means. My 3 children are adopted. I'm very much pro-adoption. And so we really stress adoption as an option just to explore. And we want to be able to say, hey, this does not have to be your only choice. You really do have other choices. Let us help you explore those. And that's our main mission. I mean, we do a lot of other things along with that. We do everything we do is free of charge. First of all, we do pregnancy tests, ultrasounds. We do STD testing, treatment, education, because our goal with that is to help them see the need to make healthier choices in their life and maybe not be back for another test, hopefully. And we do parenting classes. We do abortion healing Bible studies. So even if her choice was abortion, we want to make sure she knows she's got a place to come. Still, a place to come and talk about that, to work through that, to kind of heal from that. We offer parenting classes where our clients earn points for things like diapers and wipes and formula, new clothing, stuff like that. But we also have a gently used resource area that has infant and kids clothes and even adult clothing, maternity clothing that you don't need points for. So we're here to help in any way that we can. We firmly believe that you cannot ask someone to choose life. And then when they do say, oh, great job, see you later. We believe you, because her obstacles haven't moved. I mean, her obstacles are still there. So we want to make sure she knows we're still with her In fact, we don't have an ending to our program. The client herself decides when the ending is, not us. We don't say, well, when your child is 1 or when your child's 2, we can no longer help you. No, we have the door still open. Did I answer your question at all, Sarah?
Absolutely. What an amazing story. Andy and I are both tearing up over here. Like,
Oh.
we need the tissues. I mean, but that story it shows the needs that women have, and that the obstacles are very real to these
Yes.
women, and they need someone to listen and to care, to hold their hand through this and walk alongside them through this journey. And that is so beautiful. And you laid out all of the wonderful resources that you also have. How great is the need for these resources in the Jefferson County area?
It's tremendous. Of course, COVID has not helped with any of that. A lot of our clients are struggling financially anyway. And then the whole COVID mess has really messed things up even more. But honestly, the need has been tremendous for a long time because we strengthen families here. And our families in our area are, I'm sure everywhere, are just, they're really struggling right now to be families. So many dads are terrified or just lack desire to be the dad in the family. And the moms are, some of them are not making such great choices either, and their children see that. They're modeling that for their children. And so we want to come alongside and help them to be the best parents possible, to be committed to their family, and strengthen those families. And that need has been there for ages. Folks, so many did not have good role models when they were growing up. So they don't know how to do that. And we want to help with that as much as we can with parenting classes and peer counseling and so forth. So the need is tremendous, but I can't blame it all on COVID, for sure.
We're learning about the ways that MyLife Medical and Resource Center in High Ridge, Missouri serves their neighbors and loves their neighbors with these great works of mercy. We have more to talk about with Karen Ludwig, Executive Director of MyLife Medical and Resource Center, in just a moment. You're listening to The Coffee Hour. I'm Andy Bates.
I'm Sarah Gulseth.
You're a miracle. You know that, right? A living, breathing, one-of-a-kind miracle. You were created to stand apart, to share your gifts in the service of others, to make an uncommon impact in a common world. And at Concordia University, it's our mission to help you do that, to live uncommon. To learn more about Concordia, go to cuw.edu.
Welcome back to The Coffee Hour. I'm Andy Bates.
I'm Sarah Gulseth.
Today we're talking with Karen Ludwig, Executive Director of MyLife Medical and Resource Center in High Ridge, Missouri, and the ways that they care for neighbors in the community, particularly moms and dads who are expecting, but it was unplanned or surprised for them. Karen, you mentioned earlier men, dads in this scenario. In what ways does MyLife Medical and Resource Center care for or serve men and fathers in this situation, or include them in the services?
Yes. Well, the initial part, if a client is coming in with an unplanned pregnancy, the very first initial part of that, we do see just the mom, the female, by herself. But we ask the dad to wait in the waiting room, and then we include him in like the second part. The first part of it, we're going to ask her some real personal information, and we just want it to be her, because sometimes they don't really give us honest answers if someone else is in the room with them listening in. So we want to make sure we get very truthful answers from her. So we'll have, and it's also very, very personal information. So we'll ask him to wait out. but then we include him in for the rest of that time with the peer counselor. Then if we're able to do an ultrasound, if she's far enough along for that, and she consents to it and consents to him being there, we definitely include him in the ultrasound, because I can tell you from personal experience many times over, we've had big guys sitting in our counseling rooms saying, listen, abortion's our only answer here. We can't do anything else. We have no other options. And that same big guy will come into the counseling or the ultrasound room, and Angie is our nurse manager, and she will point out during the ultrasound the arms and the legs. She'll definitely show them a heartbeat. Sometimes we can listen to that heartbeat as well. And we've had these big burly guys who are just insistent on abortion look at that screen and get really quiet. We've even had big tears rolling down their eyes, and they say, wait, that's my baby up there? God made guys very visual, and ultrasound is a tremendous tool to use with that guy and his God-giving ability to be so visual, because once he sees it, it's real. We have seen such tremendous change in both men and women, and grandparents who are saying this is not something that we had planned for our child at this age, at this stage in their life, and they're pushing for abortion, come into that ultrasound room and meet their grandbaby for the first time. And it is so tremendous how God uses that, because those hearts that were so hard and so closed to any other options, God just opens it right up when they see a baby. You can't deny life any longer. But that is one way that we really try to include guys. Guys are always welcome to our parenting classes to attend with their girlfriend or spouse, or just by themselves to learn more about being the best parent they can. We do STD testing. We also do that on guys, because we know that they need to hear the truth about STDs and the tremendously easy way they're spread and the damage that they can do even to guys. It does affect women more than it does guys, STDs normally do, but guys are definitely harmed by STDs. So we want to make sure they get that as well. We are trying to get a men's ministry off the ground, because I can tell a guy what abortion will do to, or could do to her, or could do to him, could do to their relationship. I can tell him all that stuff, but he's not going to hear it from me the way he would from a guy. So we're trying to get that off the ground. We are just waiting for the right guy to come along to really head that up. We would love to have guys that can meet with our male clients, maybe not here at the center, maybe at McDonald's or wherever, and talk to him about what it is to be a dad, what it means, what his next steps should be, and stuff like that. So that's all important stuff to come from a guy. So we're working on that part, but the guys are always very much included in everything we do here.
Such great ways that you're able to serve the community and really make a difference. You've shown so many ways in the last few minutes how these services and resources really make a difference in people's lives. I mean, give them hope at a time that can really be a very dark time for people when they don't quite see a way to move through something like this. How are you able to provide all of these services free of charge?
Well, actually, it's all our community. We are supported by members of the community and by area churches that come along beside us. We have several who support us monthly. And then we have fundraisers throughout the year. And one of them is coming up. It is our 15-year anniversary celebration banquet. We have a banquet every year, but this year is very special because it's 15 years. And, if anybody would like to come to the banquet, they're very much welcome. We do ask that you RSVP. That's kind of a requirement because I'm a, I guess you could say neurotic planner, uh, but also because we have to, tell the caterers how many people and all that kind of stuff. So we just ask people to be sure and let us know that they're coming. There's no cost to come. That's all paid for, but we will ask at the end for support donations. But it's up to each individual, of course, how much they would give or if they give at all. But they can definitely contact our office. We'll be glad to get one out. That is our biggest fundraiser, is a banquet. And we have a golf tournament coming up, different things that we do throughout the year to raise awareness as well as financially to meet our budget. But we are strictly supported by the community and the area churches. We do occasionally get a grant, but the grants are usually for very specific programs. They're not for general operating expenses. So, but we're very blessed when we get those, and we can do even more for our clients because we have grants involved. So, but that's how we're supported. That's how we're able to keep our doors open, to keep everybody ready for all those clients who have that unplanned pregnancy. We want to be their first stop. Even if she still plans to have an abortion, we want to offer that free pregnancy test and ultrasound, and the options counseling and the support. We just want to love on her. And whatever she decides, we're still going to love on her. So we want to be their first stop. So that's really important.
You mentioned earlier that ultrasound is an important part of what you
Yes.
do in terms of caring for parents in an unplanned pregnancy, to help them see the reality of a baby, a child. I would assume that that can be somewhat expensive, having ultrasound equipment and
Right.
maintaining it. And all the other services that you provide as well. You mentioned the banquet. How can we find out more about the banquet and attend the banquet and support MyLife Medical and Resource Center?
You can call our office, and that number is 636-495-6566. And we will get your name and address. We can send you an invitation in the mail so you have all the details. And there will be an RSVP card included in that, so you're all ready to go. Or you could email us at mylifemedicalcenter@aol.com, which is all one big word, mylifemedicalcenter at aol.com. And we'll get that information out to you as well through that way, so that you can come and join with us. Again, whatever you contribute that night, if you're able to at all, it's totally between you and God. There's no set prices for anything. We will have a silent auction going on as well that people find a whole lot of fun. So that could be a good reason to bring that checkbook too, because we have a lot of people who just love that part of our banquet. It's a lot of fun. So we would be glad to have any of your listeners to attend with us.
Indeed. Very good. And if we want to, how can we share MyLife Medical and Resource Center with someone who may need to make use of those services that has an unplanned pregnancy, and we want to connect them with you? How do we do that?
Probably giving out our phone number might be the easiest way, because even when we're closed, there's an outgoing message on that machine that has a text number, which is my number. It comes straight to me at my home. So I'm able to get back with anybody pretty quickly, even when we're closed or on a weekend. But yeah, I would say, send them our way. You can always Google MyLife Medical Center, and that client website will come up. We do have a donor website and a client website. So when you Google MyLife, it's probably going to be the client one. hopefully anyway, that comes up. And then you can reach us through there because there's contact page there. You can send an email or our phone numbers there and so forth. So yes, please, anybody that is interested in any way, whether as a client or to volunteer with us, or just needs more information, please do send them our way. I'd be very, very happy to talk with anybody.
Very good. And if do they need to be residents of Jefferson County in order to receive services from MyLife?
No, absolutely not. We have no residency requirements. We have no income requirements. We really don't have any requirements at all. If somebody is in need, we don't care how much money you make or you don't make or where you live. If you need just to talk to somebody or whatever it is, we're here. So now we do have an A2A. It's called Alternatives to Abortion program that we do with the state through a major state organization that we go through. And that program does have its own requirements. It's a state-run program. So they do require that you live in the state for that particular program. But that's the only thing. That's not us. Our services are open to anybody, anywhere, anytime. So we don't have any requirements.
Very good. Karen, thank you so much for sharing with us today about MyLife Medical and Resource Center in High Ridge. It's been a pleasure to hear the story of MyLife and the people you get to serve every day and the people who serve alongside you. Thanks so much for being our guest on the Coffee Hour.
Right. Thank you.
You're listening to the Coffee Hour. I'm Andy Bates.
I'm Sarah Gulseth.
The Coffee Hour with Andy and Sarah is a production of KFUO. To support the Coffee Hour and KFUO Radio, visit KFUO.org. You can also text KFUO to 41444 or send an email to gifts@KFUO.org. And you can call us at 800-844-0524. KFUO. Christ for you, anytime, anywhere.